Oh man, all right, we did it, y'all.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. The most amazing thing I think I've done in my life, really, besides
Dizazta, and that's for Twitter, that's for Instagram, that's for Dizazta.com. Go buy all 13 albums, and it's just like these interviews are. It's tough in the game, y'all. We're bringing a whole nother level to every level.
You gotta come out to this. When I interview you, you gotta come out to this. Like, this is awesome. Everybody's going to interview like this. One thing you did this interview, you're going to have this company and all kinds of people around the world will die now.
And the only thing I ask is when y'all up there with Tanya in the interview, say that's for your boy Dizazta. Can y'all give it up to us doing this first, baby? Say this is for Dizazta. All right, Kevin, everybody. We did this.
What? One time. What? One time. One time. What? One time. What? One time.
Welcome to Rampages TV, everybody. I'm your host, Tanya Duchesne, and we are here with the talented Mr. Dizazta. We just came back from parasailing out here in the Marina Del Rey, California. And so now we're going to sit down and talk about some serious matters that we wanted to address. And one of the things that we need to address is about the turmoil that's happening in Ferguson. I'm sure that around the world it has been bothering everyone. Of course, it's bothering me. And so we want to talk to Dizazta about that before we get into talking about his album. So tell me, Dizazta, what do you think about what's happening in Ferguson?
Well, I feel that we as a people, and not just white, black, or anything like that, we all need to come together and come up with a solution for what's going on. Because violence on top of violence never helped anything. And it's hard when you're not being respected, but then at the same time, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think that when you put minds together that actually can come with great solutions, this is an opportunity to go left or go right. And you can go right by putting thoughts together, solutions together. First, like they were saying, I was looking at a television show where they were saying the first move is to pause. Because you got people that's doing no justice, no peace, but there's no solution to that. So if you pause first and then you prepare a plan, once you prepare a plan, then you can talk to people and come together and come with some kind of solution. And I feel that one of the solutions is to bring it through music, because music is an international language. And that's what's really controlling a lot of our youth today.
Yeah, but isn't it with the police brutality that's happening? It's been happening here in Los Angeles with Rodney King.
Right.
So.
No, and that's true. That's true. But you got to look at it like this, okay? You have brothers killing brothers all the time, and they're not protesting about that. So it's sort of that mentality of, okay, wait a minute, the white people are killing us. Y'all can't do that. We protesting, but we gonna kill each other. That's our job. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, well, we need to stop killing each other and give respect to each other first, and then we'll be respected. But if you're killing each other, then this person gonna look like you don't care about yourself. Then why would we care about you? You know. So I'm thinking that if we come together, at least the people that we're working with, we're coming together to come with a full-fledged plan. Just like with Dizazta Area Music, a percentage of the proceeds from downloads, posters, T-shirts goes to Dizazta. So we pay for funerals. We put money behind like teen pregnancies or whatever a disaster is. That's where the whole concept of Dizazta Area Music comes from. So every download, a percentage goes to it, and this is considered a disaster. This is a disaster in not just our community, but communities around the world. I mean, we didn't know what this particular city was 2 months ago, and now it's on the map to where the whole world is watching. So now when you have the whole world scrutinized in one place, and everyone's crying out for a solution, I mean, somebody needs to step up and lead, because you have a lot of people that's willing to follow, but they're afraid to lead because look what happened to our leaders. You know what I'm saying? The Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Tupacs, you know what I mean? So it's like when people are afraid to lead, then they're just following anything. And it's like, okay, if you're ready to follow anything, and it seems like you're ready to die for it because you're going against the military, we're not ready for war. They over in Iraq, and they tearing it up. So y'all not in the neighborhoods ready to go to war with these cats. We're not prepared mentally. We're not prepared as far as weaponry. We're not prepared at all. So now we have to think. And when you think, like they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. If the mind is mightier than any weapon you can pick up. And if you use your mind right, you don't have to pick up no weapon.
So let's talk about, I understand you're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. And Chicago is a very special city for me because I'm from there. I haven't lived there in so many years, but going back to Chicago, there's a lot of violence there. They now call Chicago, it used to be called Chi-Town, now it's called Chirac. It's called Chirac, and I think that's a sad statement to have a beautiful city like Chicago, and our president of the United States, President Barack Obama, is from Chicago. His wife is from Chicago. His children are from Chicago. But yet we have mass murders, mass killings happening all throughout Chicago, especially on the South Side. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people watching this interview around the world, especially those in Chicago. I really want to address something with Chicago. What can we do with Chicago? And do you think this is something that the president needs to step in about that?
I mean, I believe that the president can step in to a degree because it's like you have so many people look up to the president, including myself and including everyone that's out that voted for him. I mean, you have your different opinions. People have different opinions, but I feel that so many people respect and listen to him that if he speaks on certain things, it's sort of like a father figure. You just like calm down, you know what I mean, and think. The same plan, it's not like a plan for LA or be different for Chicago or to be different for New York. This one plan that we're putting together to actually pause and think will be the solution for everything nationwide and even overseas because they have ghettos over there. So as far as just getting a solution together, it would work. That same formula will work in every individual neighborhood that's out from Little Rock, Arkansas to Watts all the way to Cabrini Greens. They tore it down, so right. You know. But yeah, I mean, so as far as like the hardest places nationwide.
So what exactly does that mean, a plan? You know, I hear people always talk about a plan. Yes, we can. We got a plan. Yes, we can do that. But they never finish the sentence in terms of what the plan is. So what is the plan?
The plan is
in your opinion. I know that, you know, maybe this will work, maybe it doesn't, but what's your plan?
Okay, my plan is for everyone to listen. When you're talking, you're teaching. And when you're listening, you're learning. And everybody out there that's talking, they're not teaching nothing. So it's good to listen to the person that's bringing the plan. And at this time, we bringing the plan. And we want you guys to first think. Okay? Once you think, then you're able to absorb what the plan is. Now, I can go into the plan, but then if the person haven't started listening, then they're going to be talking over what the plan is, and then now the plan is not the plan. So my first part of the plan is to pause, listen, and think about what I'm about to say. Okay, those are three things that has to be done first before the plan can even start being put into play.
Do you think it comes in that the school system needs to have a part of that as well?
Yeah.
Or is it more the parents? Is it the streets? Is it the school system in Chicago?
I mean, it starts with the parents. I mean, everything starts at home because if the parents don't know what's going on with their family, I mean, with the kids, they stop having lunch and dinner at the dinner table. You got people coming to the table. The kids is on their iPads and the mom or dad is on their iPhone. So it's no communication, or they're all eating in different rooms. And the dining room table or the kitchen table was when we all get to interact with each other and see what our day was like. And then you get to find out, you know, what's going on and what kind of peer pressure that your daughter is facing and what kind of gang violence approaching and this your son is facing, so you can actually help him how to get out of that. But if no one's communicating, then he got to handle that by himself. Or if you feel like there's no connection or no love at home, then he's going to go to the street that has this illusion of love. And it's just them being there for you, but it's no love. It's just somebody being there. They're giving the attention that they're, wanting from home. So then once you have people giving them that attention, then you have them thinking they're loyal and they're friends and this and that, but then they're going to have you robbing the bank, and then they're going to have you doing something like this. So
in our pre-interview, you had mentioned when your mother was raising you as a single mom,
right.
she made some decisions to place you in certain areas versus some of your friends or some other parents. They didn't do that with their children, and there was a difference. Can you speak on that?
Yeah. Actually, because we're a product of our environment, and at the time I was going to John Muir Junior High on Vermont. It was right in the hood, and now it was time to graduate. And my mom would always meet my friends. My mom was always active with who I'm playing with, who I'm being around. And so she had a group of my friends, but she wanted to see us all grow up together. So she started telling the parents, okay, let's start making a plan so that we can put our kids in different schools. And by us not having the addresses, or by us not being able to, because the way they do it, if you live in a certain area, then that's the school you go to. So if you live in a bad neighborhood, you're going to go to a bad school. And if you live in a good neighborhood, your school is going to be better. Or you can have bus programs to where you're bused to this and that. So my mom had put maybe 4 or 5 of my friends together, and then 2 out of 2, the parents was like, well, no, we're going to go ahead to school. They want us to go here. This is the system, how they got it and everything. So fast forward 10, 15 years later, now the people that got taken out of that environment and then brought to these different schools where they have different experiences and around all nationalities and actually have the same opportunities that everybody else has, they start to flourish and grow more. And then the ones that was trapped in that particular environment, going to jail, getting killed, murdered, or murderers, you know what I mean? So it just showed, and this is the same crew. Like back in the day, we all still loved each other and still stayed in touch when we can, but it's just by you being in this environment as opposed to being in this environment, you're facing different, challenges. So that's what I was mentioning on that it's very important where you are growing up at. And believe it or not, like when you were saying, was it the parents? When the parents, they're the ones that actually put the kids in the gangs. I mean, because a gang member is not like, okay, I want to be in this gang, I want to be a blood. They end up being in whatever gang that they live in. So they're kids, so the parents move to this particular neighborhood. So now they're in that particular neighborhood, and now the kids in that neighborhood is like, okay, who is this just moved on the block? So it's not like you're like, okay, I want to be a such and such Crip, I want to be a such and such blood. It's just that once the parent move in that environment,
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So now the
parents have to take responsibility. They have to take responsibility, because if you move your child, your young son, in this environment, and you know exactly what this environment breeds, then you almost have to take responsibility.
Yeah, you're putting him in that gang, because you're not going to have a person that lives here, but he's a member of that gang on the other side of town because he like red.
Right.
It's like he's going to be whatever it is, because the whole thing is the safety of him coming in and out of the neighborhood.
Well, let's talk about your record label. I am excited about hearing that. So let's talk about your record label.
Okay, like I was just briefly speaking on, it's called Dizazta Area Music, and my music name is Dizazta, and it's spelled different because it is different. I'm a different kind of disaster. I'm a disaster to negativity. I'm here to destroy negativity. So that part of Dizazta Area Music, that's where the concept for that whole label, came from, is Dizazta Area, because we're living in a disaster area right now, and the concept is based on.
It's very appropriate at this time.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little more about, we're going to change locations, and we're going to talk a little bit more about your record and the release of your record.
Okay.
So thank you for having this wonderful interview.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya Duche. Thank you, Rap Pages TV. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I humbly say thank you.
And give them your handle.
Okay, you can go to Dizazta, and we're spelling it different because it is different. It's DIZAZTA.com. That will take you to all of the albums. That will take you to all the videos. I got 327 videos on YouTube. We do all the filming. We do all that. Okay. We got a film company called Dizazta Area Films, and it's the same concept as far as donating a part of the proceeds. And my handles as far as let me see, Instagram,
your Twitter, your Facebook.
Twitter. Okay, Twitter and Instagram is Dizazta, Dizazta. Fan Facebook page is Dizazta Area Music, and you can go to Dizazta.com and that'll take you to all of the links. Or you can go to the link that's on Rap Pages TV and you can get us there.
Rap Pages TV.
Y'all niggas get ready for Dizazta Area Music and make room, make room, make room, make room, make room.